I'm John Blackburn, I'm the former Deputy Chief of the Australian Air Force. In the public debate, we see a lot of issues about climate change being discussed, and some people saying it's not an issue we need to worry about now. Here's the problem. Climate change is already affecting us. It's affecting everybody around the world. And as we look to what the scientists are telling us of what's going to happen in the next 10 and 20 years, it's like you're watching a tsunami or a tidal wave coming towards you. We know it's going to get much worse. What we don't want to do is wait till it hits us. Often when we talk about the security impacts of climate, people think about conflict or mass movements of people, and they are serious risks. But what I think we'll see first is it will fundamentally impact our way of life. If we think about the impact of the pandemic, where we could see supply chains get impacted, movement around the world impacted, a health impact, well, climate change is going to have a much bigger impact on us because, unlike a virus, we cannot quarantine ourselves in Australia from climate change. It's going to happen to us as it happens everywhere else around the world. So we have to approach this challenge differently. We've now formed the Australian Security Leaders Climate Group, and what we're trying to do is get security and defence practitioners within Australia to come together and use the experience they've had to try and address the climate change risks that we're facing in a country. We think there's three key things to being a more resilient nation. The very first thing is you have to have a shared understanding across the country of what the risk is, how it could eventuate, what could happen. And that's not very clear in Australia. We tend to argue about whether it's real or not. And that's where preparedness is most important. And that's what we're going to be advocating and trying to explain what that could look like to be a part of a really important discussion that we have to have here in Australia.